Whispers of the void. The Galactic Empire once spanned thousands of worlds, its fleets blotting out suns, its legions crushing resistance beneath iron boots. But now, the Empire is rotting. Something unseen gnaws at its foundation. Entire planets fall silent overnight. Starships vanish, found weeks later drifting, their crews reduced to hollow-eyed husks. The Emperor does not speak of it. The High Command pretends nothing is wrong. But the whispers are growing. Commander Vex knew fear. He had seen battle, had watched planetary bombardments turn cities to dust. But nothing had prepared him for this. His star cruiser, the Obsidian Wrath, hung in orbit over the colony of Charon, 4. Or rather, what remained of it. The surface below was dark. No lights, no transmissions, just miles of blackened structures and the occasional flickering fire. Still nothing? Vex asked his comms officer, Lieutenant Yara. Negative, sir. No life signs. But the scans keep glitching. Like, something's there, but we can't detect it. Vex clenched his jaw. Send a recon squad. I want eyes on the ground. Minutes later, the dropship Vulture 12 descended, carrying 6 of the Empire's best shock troopers. They landed in the city square, silent, deserted. The streets were littered with abandoned weapons, shattered helmets. No bodies. Just the eerie hum of the wind through empty towers. Command, this is Recon Team Theta, crackled the squad leader's voice through the bridge speakers. This place is wrong. It's like everyone just vanished. Then came the whispering, not over the comms. Not in their ears. Inside their heads. Go back. A scream. Then gunfire. The signal dissolved into static. Yara's hands trembled over the controls. Sir, we're losing them. Vex slammed his fist on the console. Get them out of there. Now. The dropship's engines roared to life, then cut out. A shadow surged up from the streets, black tendrils wrapping around the craft, pulling it down. The crew barely had time to scream before the ship was consumed, metal crumpling like paper. The bridge was silent. Terror held them all in its grip. Sir, Yara whispered, voice barely audible. We need to leave. But Vex knew the truth. There was nowhere to run. The Empire was dying, not by war, not by rebellion, but by something far older. Something that had been waiting, and now, it was awake. The once mighty Galactic Empire, feared across the stars, now rotted from within. Corruption had seeped into its core, and its armies, once an unstoppable force, had become complacent. The outer colonies whispered of rebellion, but the Emperor laughed. No power could challenge the Empire. Then, the darkness came. It started on the edge of known space, in a forgotten system where patrols had mysteriously vanished. When a fleet was sent to investigate, only static returned. No wreckage. No distress signals. Just silence. Soon, other systems followed. Ships traveling through those regions never returned. Planetary governors reported shadows moving in the void, ships blacker than the abyss, appearing and disappearing in an instant. Entire star systems went dark overnight. The Empire, confident in its strength, dismissed these warnings, until they arrived at the core worlds. The Imperial Senate watched in horror as their battlecruisers crumbled without a fight. Weapons refused to fire, defenses failed, and soldiers fell to an invisible force that clawed into their minds. The Empire's most powerful leaders screamed as they were pulled into the void, one by one, their souls devoured by something older than time. The Emperor himself, once the ruler of trillions, stood alone in his throne room, trembling. The darkness whispered his name. Not with reverence. Not with fear. But with hunger.